Stop everything you are doing right now. If you hold crypto, if you use Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or any browser wallet, this message can literally save your money. What I am about to explain is not fear, not hype, and not a rumor. This is a real security incident that has already drained millions of dollars from real people's wallets, and it happened on Christmas Day. Imagine opening your wallet after spending time with your family and seeing your balance at zero. That is the reality many users face today. Welcome back to We Are Cosmic. If you are new here, this channel is about real crypto education, real market risks, and real financial awareness, not fake price predictions or clickbait headlines. My goal is simple: help you protect your capital and understand what is actually happening in this industry, especially when everyone else is focused only on price. Today is one of those days where price does not matter at all. Security matters. There is an active scam drain breach going on right now, specifically connected to the Trust Wallet Chrome browser extension. According to multiple verified reports, malicious code was injected into Trust Wallet browser extension version 2.68, leading to wallet data and seed phrase theft. This was not a simple phishing link. This looks like a supply chain attack, meaning hackers targeted the extension itself, not individual users. That is why this incident is so dangerous. By December 25th, at least $6 to $7 million had already been drained across multiple blockchains, including Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana. Hundreds of users reported opening their wallets and seeing their balances completely gone, no transactions they approved, no warnings, just empty wallets. For many people, this completely destroyed their Christmas day, and honestly, I feel that gut punch with them. Now, let me be very clear here. Trust Wallet is generally considered a trusted product. It is connected to Binance and millions of users rely on it. This is exactly why this incident shocked the community so much. When a trusted tool gets compromised, people start asking serious questions, and they should. In crypto, trust must always be combined with personal responsibility. Personally, I want to share why I am not affected by this specific breach, because there is an important lesson here. I do not use browser extensions connected to my main wallets. My primary wallets are on my phone with no active dApp connections and no Chrome extensions linked. I do not rush to connect wallets to websites just for convenience. This second layer of separation is exactly why incidents like this do not impact me, and today confirms why that approach matters. That does not make me smarter than anyone else. It simply means I learned from past mistakes in this industry. Browser wallets are convenient, yes, but convenience always comes with risk. The moment your wallet stays connected to the web, especially through a browser extension, you increase your attack surface. Hackers know this. That is why browser extensions are often the weakest link. Trust Wallet has already confirmed that the issue affected browser extension version 2.68 only, and they advised users to immediately disable it and upgrade to version 2.69. They also stated that they are investigating how malicious code was able to enter the release process. This is still developing, and more details are coming out as we speak. What we are dealing with here is something called a supply chain attack. In simple terms, a supply chain attack happens when hackers do not attack users directly. Instead, they attack the software or service that users already trust. In this case, the target was the Trust Wallet Chrome browser extension, specifically version 2.68. According to the investigation so far, malicious code was inserted into the extension itself. That means users downloaded or updated the wallet normally, thinking everything was safe, but in the background, that malicious code was quietly doing its job. It was stealing sensitive wallet data, including seed phrases and private information, and sending it to attackers. Once a hacker has your seed phrase, the game is over. They do not need your permission. They do not need you to approve a transaction. They can import your wallet anywhere and drain it completely. That is exactly why users reported opening their wallets and seeing everything gone without any warning. This attack affected users across multiple blockchains, including Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana. This tells us something very important. The hackers were not targeting one specific coin like XRP or ETH. They were targeting wallets themselves. Crypto does not get hacked, wallets do. One of the most dangerous parts of this situation is timing. This happened on Christmas Day, when people are distracted, traveling, or spending time with family. Fewer people are checking updates, fewer people are monitoring wallets, and that gives attackers a perfect window. By the time many users noticed, the funds were already gone. Now let's talk about who was actually at risk. Based on everything we know so far, the breach affected Trust Wallet browser extension version 2.68 only. Mobile app users were not impacted by this specific exploit. Users who did not have the Chrome extension installed were also safe, and users who had wallets but kept them disconnected from browser extensions avoided this incident completely. This is why you keep hearing experienced crypto users say, browser wallets are the weakest link. It does not mean browser wallets are always bad. It means they carry more risk because they interact directly with the internet, websites, scripts, and third-party code. Hackers go where the access is easiest. Another critical point many people miss is that this was not necessarily Trust Wallet getting hacked in the traditional sense. The investigation suggests that attackers were able to submit or modify a version of the extension during the release process. That raises serious questions about internal security controls, code review, and update verification. Trust Wallet has already admitted they are still investigating how this happened. The good news, if there is any, is that Trust Wallet and related teams responded relatively quickly once the issue was identified. Users were told to disable version 2.68 immediately and upgrade to version 2.69. Reports suggest that the exploit is now contained. The estimated losses are currently around $7 million, and officials have stated that affected users will be reimbursed, although details are still being finalized. But here's the bigger lesson, and this is important. In crypto, security is never finished. Even trusted wallets, even well-known companies can fail. That is why you cannot rely on brand names alone. You need personal security habits, you need layers of protection, and you need to understand where your biggest risks actually are. If you are using Trust Wallet browser extension, the first thing you need to do is check the version. If your extension version is 2.68, stop using it immediately. Disable the extension right now. Do not open your wallet. Do not connect it to any website. Do not approve any transactions. Trust Wallet has already confirmed that version 2.68 was affected and that users must upgrade to version 2.69 or higher. If you are unsure whether your wallet was exposed, assume risk and act defensively. The safest move is to create a brand new wallet and move your funds to it using a secure method. This is important because once a seed phrase is potentially compromised, it should never be trusted again. Even if nothing has been stolen yet, the risk remains. For users who are on mobile Trust Wallet only, there is no confirmed impact from this specific exploit. However, I still recommend reviewing your wallet activity and ensuring there are no unknown DApp connections. Disconnect everything that you do not recognize or no longer use. This takes only a few minutes and reduces unnecessary exposure. Now let's talk about browser wallets in general, because this applies beyond Trust Wallet. If you use MetaMask, Phantom, or any browser-based wallet, treat them as high-risk tools. That does not mean never use them. It means never store large amounts of crypto in wallets that stay connected to browsers for long periods of time. A simple rule I follow is this: browser wallets are for interaction, not storage. They are fine for testing, small balances, or temporary transactions, but your main holdings should be kept in wallets that are not constantly connected to the internet. Convenience should never come before security. Another critical step you should take is checking your transaction history. Look for any transactions you do not recognize. If you see funds already drained, document everything immediately. Take screenshots, record wallet addresses, and follow the official Trust Wallet reporting process. According to current statements, affected users are expected to be reimbursed, but proper documentation is key. Please be careful of fake support messages right now. After incidents like this, scammers come out in full force pretending to be customer support. Trust Wallet will never ask for your seed phrase. No real support agent will ever DM you asking for private keys. If anyone does that, it is a scam. Block and report immediately. This incident also highlights why leaving wallets connected to random websites is dangerous. Every DApp connection is a door. The more doors you leave open, the more chances something goes wrong. Make it a habit to regularly review and revoke permissions. This single habit has saved many people from losses. Now, I want to make something very clear. This is not about blaming users. The responsibility also lies with wallet providers to secure their systems, but in crypto, there is no safety net like traditional banking. Once funds are gone, recovery is difficult or impossible unless the provider steps in. That is why education matters. That is why channels like We Are Cosmic exist. Price will go up and down. XRP will have good days and bad days. Bitcoin will move. But none of that matters if your wallet is drained overnight. Browser extensions sit in a very dangerous position. They live inside your web browser, which is constantly interacting with websites, scripts, advertisements, trackers, and third-party code. Every time you visit a website, your browser is processing external information. That creates a large attack surface, and hackers know this very well. When you install a wallet extension, you are giving it permission to read and interact with web pages. Normally, this is safe when everything is working correctly. But if malicious code enters that extension, like what happened with Trust Wallet version 2.68, the extension itself becomes the attacker. That is what makes supply chain attacks so powerful. Users are not doing anything wrong. They are trusting a tool that has already been compromised. Another reason browser wallets are targeted is scale. A single successful exploit can impact thousands or even millions of users at the same time. Hackers do not need to trick individuals one by one. They simply wait for people to update or install the extension, and the damage spreads automatically. From a criminal perspective, that is extremely efficient. This is also why attacks often happen during holidays or weekends. Teams are smaller, response times are slower, users are distracted. Christmas Day was not a coincidence. It was a calculated timing decision. The longer an exploit stays active without detection, the more money gets drained. Now let's talk about convenience, because this is where most users get trapped. Browser wallets are incredibly easy to use. You connect, click, approve, and move on. That ease of use is what drives adoption, but it is also what lowers people's guard. Over time, users forget that they are interacting with real money, not just an app. Many people leave wallets connected to websites for weeks or months. They approve permissions and never revoke them. They install multiple extensions without thinking about conflicts or risks. All of this increases exposure. Hackers do not need perfection. They only need one weak point. This incident also reminds us that crypto security is not only about users making mistakes. Infrastructure matters. Code review processes matter. Internal security controls matter. Even large companies can fail if those systems are not airtight. That is why decentralization does not mean risk-free. It means responsibility is shared and sometimes shifted back to the user. Another uncomfortable truth is that as crypto adoption grows, attacks will increase, not decrease. More users means more money. More money means more incentives for attackers. This is not a phase. This is the reality of a digital financial system. So, what is the takeaway here? The goal is not to be scared of crypto. The goal is to use it correctly. Serious investors treat security like insurance. You hope you never need it, but you always prepare for worst-case scenarios. That means separating storage from interaction. That means limiting exposure. That means assuming that anything connected to the internet can eventually be compromised. This mindset is not paranoia. It is professionalism. This is why events like this matter far beyond the short-term damage. Every major security incident pushes the crypto industry to a crossroads. Either standards improve or adoption slows down. There is no middle ground. From a regulatory perspective, this kind of attack adds pressure on wallet providers, exchanges, and infrastructure companies. Regulators do not care whether funds were stolen through a browser extension or a phishing site. What they see is consumer harm, and consumer harm is what drives regulation. We are already moving into a phase where regulators are asking tougher questions. How are updates reviewed? Who has access to release pipelines? What internal controls exist? Incidents like this accelerate those conversations. That does not mean crypto is dead. It means crypto is growing up. For wallet providers, the message is clear. Security cannot be treated as a feature. It must be treated as the foundation. Faster updates, better audits, stronger monitoring, and clearer communication are no longer optional. Users expect transparency, especially when things go wrong. Trust Wallet's response so far has been relatively fast compared to past industry failures. They acknowledged the issue, identified the affected version, and stated that users would be reimbursed. That is important. But trust is not rebuilt by words alone. It is rebuilt through action, improved systems, and time. For users, this incident reinforces an uncomfortable truth. Crypto gives you control, but control comes with responsibility. There is no bank manager to call, no chargeback button, no guarantee that losses will always be covered. That is the trade-off. This does not mean users should exit crypto. It means users need to mature alongside the industry. The same way early internet users learned about viruses and phishing, crypto users must learn about wallet hygiene, permissions, and risk exposure. Long-term investors already understand this. They do not chase every new tool. They do not leave large balances in hot wallets. They build systems that assume failure is possible. That mindset separates survivors from victims. There is also a positive side to all of this. Each incident forces the ecosystem to improve, security tools get better, awareness increases, bad practices get exposed. The industry becomes more resilient over time, but only if people learn from these moments instead of ignoring them once the news cycle moves on. For assets like XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, these incidents are not about the asset itself. The blockchain did not fail. The protocol did not break. The weak point was the access layer, the wallet. That distinction is important and often misunderstood by the public. As crypto adoption moves toward institutions and larger capital, security expectations will rise dramatically. Retail users will benefit from that, but only if they also adopt smarter habits. The most important rule you should take away from this is separation. Separate storage from interaction. Your main funds should live in wallets that are not constantly connected to browsers or websites. Browser wallets should be treated like cash in your pocket, useful but limited. Never store your life savings in something that stays exposed to the internet. Second, always assume that convenience increases risk. The easier something feels, the more careful you should be. Auto-connect features, saved permissions, and always-on extensions feel good, until they don't. Make it a habit to review wallet permissions regularly and disconnect anything you are not actively using. Third, seed phrases are sacred. If you ever believe a seed phrase may have been exposed, even once, that wallet is done. Do not wait to see what happens. Create a new wallet and move your funds. Hope is not a security strategy. Fourth, timing matters. Hackers strike when attention is low. Holidays, weekends, major events. That means your defenses must be consistent, not reactive. Set habits when things are calm, not when something goes wrong. Fifth, trust but verify. It is okay to use popular wallets and tools, but never blindly trust any single provider. Follow official channels, stay informed, and always double-check updates before rushing to install or interact. Finally, understand the mindset shift required in crypto. This is not traditional banking. You are your own custodian. That is power, but it is also responsibility. If you want the upside, you must accept the discipline that comes with it. For those affected by this incident, my advice is simple. Document everything. Follow official recovery instructions, and do not engage with random messages claiming to help. Scammers love chaos. For everyone else, use this moment as a wake-up call, not to leave crypto, but to use it properly. Here at We Are Cosmic, we do not chase hype. We focus on clarity, risk awareness, and long-term thinking. Price will always be there tomorrow. Your capital might not be if you ignore security. If this breakdown helped you, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this with someone who holds crypto. Sometimes a simple warning is worth more than a price prediction. Stay safe, stay calm, and stay informed. This is We Are Cosmic, and I'll see you in the next one.